think many people are gonna drive down that way anyway. I mean, I guess the best way to put it is like my graffiti's a like representation of what I am, like different ages and things that I've struggled with. It embodies a lot of me, but I just paint technical graff. Very, very layered. I think that's the way that my brain works too. I've struggled with like ADD. When I was in grade school, was an quote unquote ADD, ADHD student. 22, 23 years for me, is I found peace in it. Graff is a very addictive thing. Like, it had me by everything, and I didn't allow myself to venture off and to do other things because that was the only thing I could think about. That was the only thing that I wanted to do. I think now, like, I want every piece to look a little different. Like I want every piece that I flick and that I store, I want to go back and remember those pieces. I haven't been in here in a while. It's just an old abandoned building. A little dusty, man, timber piece. The homie Bane, old school. That was a long time ago. It's an oldie. Here's a better tag right here. He passed away probably 6 years ago. He's a king for sure. Style master. Rest in peace, Better. Homie Sepia, MFK. Damn, that thing ain't aging well. We could probably find a way into that other room. I think there's some pieces. Dang, this stuff is not holding well. The homie Sepia's holding well though. The homie Optic. My shit's peeled off pretty good. That was all this right here, all the paint and stuff's all flaking off. It makes it look really cool. I can get down with that. God, what was I thinking? Going over all those windows and shit, that's the worst. All those columns. Oh well. There might be something on fire over there, dude. This mission's been weird. Now it's like hella potent. Hopefully it's not one of those trains on fire, because they have pellets, plastic pellets in them. Definitely burning plastic. 100% no question, something on fire. It could be an encampment on fire. What we would do is walk it, hop over on this tree line over here, and rock that. Or my fear is somebody's gonna call the fucking fire department to come investigate, you know? Yeah, there's been some pretty interesting circumstances for sure. Had some situations in some abandoned buildings before that were really questionable. Kind of one of those, am I gonna make it out okay, you know? Like, you gotta watch my back type shit. Running into some people that were definitely like doing some dirt, and were like, what are you doing here? And were following me around the whole entire time while I'm walking around trying to find a spot. Finally, I was like, hey man, I'm here to paint. Like, I'm just gonna try to get a piece off real quick. And he didn't even know what I was talking about. So I opened my bag, I was like, look, paint. He's like, oh, okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna stay here and watch you, because there's a couple rooms you can't go in. And the dude was strapped. The dude had a piece on him. Is like, he's sitting there watching me paint, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hours goes by. I get done. He follows me back out, and I start peeling my eyes, and I was like, oh, okay. I see what type of operation you got going on. I'm literally in your territory right now, you know? Like, I am not wanted here, but neither are you, so you don't own the place. He was cooking in there for sure. The smell too was like really heavy in the air in there. That was interesting. I mean, I'm sure there's several other ones if I sat around a campfire and thought about it, you know. And I wish I could say that he was cool. He really wasn't. I'm gonna go walk down. Like, I really want to get an eye view on pretty bad. I was doing this bridge spot and I had a guy like start yelling at me, and I looked back and dude had his fist up like this, 100 foot away from me, popped out of nowhere, and I could see the reflection of the blade like running towards me. He definitely had something in his hand he was wanting to do work with for sure. Grabbed my shit, ended up getting out of there, but primarily it's been pretty chill. Oh gosh, therapy. I was struggling with addiction and went and got help. I was sitting in an apartment by myself with a bottle of Jack Daniels and empty beers on the ground, contemplating life. That's when my time was. I never thought that that life could be so bright. And it's not an easy road, no, but it took one phone call. We make it more difficult in our head. We think that there can never be a change. There always can be a change. There can be a change in everything that we do in life. And I still have things that I can change. But I never would have known that unless I started working on my sobriety. When you drink or when you use, you got that beast that you got to fuel, you know? I transferred that into painting. I want to paint more than I've ever wanted to paint in my life. I'm using graffiti and I'm using my being creative with the outlet being graffiti is for my sobriety. I'm using it for what it is therapy. And that's really the best way that I can put it. I'm using graffiti as therapy at this point. Like, they used to lay cars up on this track right here. This is classic stuff, man. Like, this is some of the first. Scar, this is all TM crew. Scar, Quisp, Kodak. Here's another production. Scar, that piece is fucking great. Task, and Kodak. Like, this is TM. This is TM crew. This is probably 2001, 2002. Untouched, still riding on the raw wall. Scar, Task, Kodak. You want to talk about influences, man. I mean, these walls are this is still riding, untouched, man. Ruck 41. This is Kodak. And Berlin, MFK. Catching a lot of influence from the TM guys. Like, it's a prime example of, you know, what you see as a young kid. You know, when I was 13, 14 years old with my wind-up camera, going in like in the late 90s, was seeing this like freshly painted, brand new. And that's what I saw. Living in Tennessee, I saw TM crew, I saw Thoughts Manifested. My eyes have never seen such things before, you know? That's what I saw. I'm a prime example of the state and city that I came from, you know? You can see it in the, gosh, that thing's so old. It's cool to walk back here and reminisce on some of this stuff. I remember when I painted that piece too, I was so hyped on it. I mean, still am, but I remember doing that piece specifically and was like, yeah, I like that one a lot. I was really into that one. This one, not so much. What's funny is I can tell what pieces that I did when I was like heavily drinking, like bringing whiskey and like a 12-pack of beer to the spot. I can tell which pieces I was, you know, completely blasted on and ones that weren't. But, you know, that's my story too. Like, that's the great thing about graffiti as well. I can go through here and I can it's my storyline, you know?